few days ago we received even more details surrounding this shocking end for many fans' favorite character, Tyrion Lannister. The source this time is Freaky Doctor and Javi, who, even though have different sources, received the same plot, or should I say the matching information. In case you don't know Freaky Doctor, the source of this major spoiler is the same source that leaked the entire Season 7 plot, which turned out to be 100% accurate. So all the potential spoilers you're going to hear in this video will likely turn out to be true, so if you don't want anything spoiled, it's time for you to close this video. These are major spoilers. Okay, not only do we have more info regarding Tyrion's trial and we get to know what he's actually gonna be executed for, it's not only for his betrayal over Dany, but we also have Arya's near death, as well as two mysterious characters appearing at a trial, one of whom is probably going to be long-awaited character finally reappearing. Let's take a look at what's been added. Tyrion is taking a walk with Jon and Davos in King's Landing. This is before trial and it's the aftermath of the destruction of the city. There are lifeless bodies everywhere, a lot of innocent people. The camera pans to Tyrion, showing him horrified, thinking to himself, what have I done? Okay, let's stop right there. As most of you probably know, at this point the production of Game of Thrones has, for the very first time, instead of filming King's Landing since Jib Browning decided to rather make a huge King's Landing set in Belfast. Inside the set streets, a famous Jib Browning landmark has been faithfully reproduced, with city gates and the King's Landing dome. Many of us had been wondering why did they bother to build city buildings to resemble the city they used for King's Landing all these years instead of simply filming at actual medieval old towns as they usually did. We then later found out that it's because Game of Thrones is not allowed to burn the city to the ground. The set was shortly after being created burned down with a huge breach between demolished towers. The city gate has been obliterated and towers that once protected it have fallen. King's Landing Dome has been burned down as well. All these leaked photos served as a final confirmation that the capital is most definitely going to fall and a big portion of it is going to burn down in the final season. However, we could not tell anything more than that. Who did it? Why? Some speculated, including myself, it's Dragonfire, because the show built a King's Landing set mainly to do live pyrotechnics and Dragonfire in Game of Thrones is portrayed by live pyrotechnics. Some also speculated it's the Mad Queen Cersei Lannister burning them all with wildfire. It's all been speculations and theories, but now we have leaked plot of the Game of Thrones finale and it does answer all the questions we've had. Who burned it? Tyrion is responsible for the burning of King's Landing and no, there were no Whites or White Walkers inside the city walls when this burning took place. Why he did it? Tyrion's main and the only objective was to kill the people of King's Landing, all 1 million of them. Tyrion's objective was to avoid the city population from turning into whites. In other words, Tyrion probably thought the Night King would end up taking the capital, so he decided to burn it and its 1 million population in order to prevent the Night King from creating a huge army that would probably be hard to defeat at that point. Many will die, including some main characters. Who we know will certainly survive are the characters who are being on Tyrion's trial: Bran, Sansa, Yara, Robin, Sam, Brienne, Grey Worm, Davos and two mysterious characters. Out of those not present on a trial, Missandei, Jon and Dany are also alive at this point, but are somewhere else. Jon has even taken a walk with Tyrion earlier in this episode. Among the survivors is Arya Stark, who will also attend the trial, but she almost met her end. During the destruction, Arya is caught in the fire of King's Landing, but manages to survive. Did Tyrion confess his guilt while taking a walk with Jon and Davos across the demolished capital? Did the horrified look Tyrion had while overlooking all the lifeless bodies of all the innocent people give him away? It's Bran and his three-eyed raven skills that's going to be an end for Tyrion. The source says that Bran has a talk with Sansa. Bran's the one who tells of Tyrion's betrayal to others. Tyrion will then be imprisoned and put under a trial. How I see it happening is Jon and Davos showing Tyrion all the lifeless bodies of thousands of innocent people, basically showing him what he has done, and then at the end of the road they reveal to him that they know it's him who caused it, imprisoning him and locking him down. In the charge of a trial is Sir Davos Seavert. He is the judge accompanied with all the Starks, Sansa, Arya and Bran Stark. There are also Samwell Tarly, Brienne of Tarth, Robin Arryn, Yara, Grey Worm and two new characters, one of them wearing a golden armor. Previously, it's only been known that Tyrion is being under trial for betraying Dany and his family, but now we know it's not only that, he's also burned down the capital and most of its population. Tyrion is a traitor and is being judged in the Game of Thrones finale. He's betrayed Dany and is sided with his family, and this should not come as a huge surprise. Tyrion's been preventing House Lannister from falling during the entire past season. Because of Tyrion and his war plans, Dany has lost most of her allies and her strength has drastically decreased. Tyrion's plans also resulted with the food and the gold being unprotected and basically left for Cersei to take it, which she did. Tyrion realized Cersei is pregnant and he's probably working to put that Lannister on the throne, ensuring his house's future. How else could you explain why Cersei just a moments ago refused to help them in the war against the dead, only to a bit later after her meeting with Tyrion came back at the Dragon Pit and promised Dany to aid them, even though she will not? Why would she change her mind all of a sudden? Tyrion knew Cersei was not going to go north as she said it herself to all of them a bit earlier, and so he told her to lie about it for now. Tyrion told her to make a false promise of supporting them with the troops and that Faye buy more time to improve her armies. Anyways, back to the trial. Bran Stark will use his green side powers during this trial and take us back to the first season. Bran will recall something Tyrion said to his mother Catelyn Stark in the first season. It's Tyrion's statement that he would never bet against his family. There's another thing we know. Tyrion will say they deserve it, implying that the people of King's Landing deserve to die. Tyrion is full of anger. The most dramatic moment of the trial will be Tyrion falling on his knees in the middle of the speech, dragged down by his actions. He also won't be able to ask for a trial by combat. It's unknown how Tyrion will be executed because, unlike the trial, his death was not filmed in Seville but in the studio. We also know there will not be much of a snow at the Dragon Pit as most of it already melted down at this point of the season, meaning that winter is most likely over by the time Tyrion is being under trial. There's one more info, but it's more of a rumor than a legit leak. It says that while Tyrion is being judged, Winterfell is being reconstructed. Missandei, Jon and Dany are not at trial. My guess would be that Dany is giving birth to Jon's child, and that's exactly where Missandei and Jon are, with Dany. Why would Jon be with Dany instead of attending a trial? That he really has to be with her. Well, Dany's mother died giving birth to her, Jon's mother also died giving birth to him, and even Tyrion's mother, for that matter, died giving birth to him as well. So actually, one can see why Jon has to be with Dany during the childbirth. But let's get a bit back into the trial. There are two mysterious characters. The first one is a person wearing a golden attire at Tyrion's trial, most likely Dornish clothes. Freaky Doctor sent a picture of Oberyn to one of his sources and he said that the style matched. The person should be a representative of Dorne. It'll be this character's first appearance on the show, but it's probably a character that should be known to the book readers. The other mystery character is a bit older guy with a short beard wearing a green attire. He might be Howland Reed. It's a character most of us have been waiting for a long time to reappear. It's a popular theory that he will in fact be the one to reveal the truth to Jon Snow. Let me introduce you with Howland and his importance in the Game of Thrones. Howland Reed is the man whose children Mira and Jojen played an important role in Bran Stark's life, since if not for them, Bran probably would not ever have become a three-eyed raven. He would have probably been dead. Howland is a man who saved Ned from a certain death, saved Ned Stark who gave his best but could not stand a chance against Sir Arthur Dayne's superior fighting skills. Bran knows about Jon's parentage due to his ability of having visions of the past, and Sam knows it from the books he's read, but Howland Reed was actually there. Howland witnessed Jon's birth, and that is why I don't see him not appearing in the final season. If Howland truly is the one to reveal Jon's identity to him, I think he might even do it without being the one to actually tell him that. It could still be Ned who will reveal it to Jon, just as he promised he would, but not in person, but rather through Howland. In this scene from the very first season at their parting, Eddard tells Jon that he's a Stark, and that while he does not have his name, he has his blood. Jon asks about his mother, who was she, and if she's still alive. Ned then vows to Jon that one day he will tell him the truth about his mother. But since Ned is not alive, there is no way Ned could fulfill this promise. Or is there? If Game of Thrones has taught us anything throughout these 7 seasons, it's that Ned Stark is a man of his word. If Ned made a promise, he will keep it. And there's actually this one promise Ned has yet to fulfill. Ned might be dead, but it doesn't mean that he will not fulfill his last promise and be the one to reveal the truth to Jon Snow. The truth which would Sam, Bran, and maybe even Howland confirm. Sure, Bran could share what he's seen in his vision, or Sam could show him what he's read, or even Howland Reed could tell him the truth as he witnessed it himself. But the only way for the revelation to have its full effect is for Jon to discover it on his own through the most important person in his life, Eddard Stark. Don't get me wrong, either all three, Bran, Sam and Howland, or at least some of them, will definitely play an important role in this huge revelation, as I definitely see them confirming to Jon the truth he will find out through his father Ned Stark. I can definitely see Howland coming with Ned Stark's letter in which all the revelations are written and Jon actually gets to find it out from his true father. I believe the older person wearing the colors of House Reed is Howland Reed himself. There you have it guys, new and updated shocking plot of the Game of Thrones finale. Jaime saved the city from the Mad King and will possibly save it from Cersei as well during the final season, but he will not be able to save it from his brother Tyrion Lannister, who will decide to burn everything and everyone down.